everyone, and welcome to next to last episode of Topic Time in September of 2023. This is kind of a milestone week for the show. It's been 5 years since I brought the show to two locations. One at ECAT, which was 5 years ago today, my first show there, and then the next day I came here to Area 58 and set up the schedule here, and I did my first show here on the following Wednesday, October 3rd, 2018, and on my 59th birthday. My 64th is coming up next Tuesday. I'm psyched. I won't have a show that day. But today we have an awesome guest. He actually opted to come down here from all the way the state of New Hampshire. I always wanted to say it like that, even though we had the Zoom option. And he's got a lot going on. He's a writer, he's a podcaster, he's an artist. I'm going to talk all about that, discuss a couple of his books. I'm looking at those titles, and they're driving me crazy with laughter right now. I'm enjoying that, and we're going to talk all about those books. But before we do, we got to read these great underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So we have the Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We have New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We have Tom Otto in Middleborough. We have Bulldog Sports Cards in Middleborough. We have the Main Ingredient, Just Good Food in Middleborough. We have Genuine's Inspection in Middleborough. We have the Cornerstone Barbershop in Pembroke. We have Rodney's Kitchen in Halifax. We have Crazy Axe's Rec Center in Hanover. We have Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We have the Hanover House of Pizza in Hanover. They make great Sicilian pizza, Greek salads, and they deliver. They have awesome people working there. We have Here Way to Heaven Family Salon in Norwell. We have good old Dave's Automotive in Hanson, right up the road on Route 58. We have the Gun Runner LLC, the Second Amendment Freedom Store in Middleborough. We have the Auto Shop in Hanover, thanks Ed Rooney. And we have DNS Auto Works and Collision Specialist in Abington. I want to thank you guys very much. Now I'm going to introduce Mr. Eric Morrison, Eric, A-R-I-C, H. Morrison. And he has two books on that stool over yonder. One is called Heavenly Peace My Ass. That's a cool title. I don't know what it means. We're going to find out all about that. That's what we do on Top of Time. The other one is Screaming Whispers. He informed me that the books are very dark. I don't know if they're fiction, if they're fact, I believe you're a public speaker too, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so that's part of your repertoire as well. All right, well, tell me, all right, first of all, you're from New Hampshire. Did you grow up there?
I grew up in the Lakes region, so Lake Winnipesaukee area. And,
okay.
Had an average childhood, I guess.
You were one of a litter of three, if you like the Three Stooges. You know how they said?
Actually, yes, yeah, exactly. I wanted to be close to my mom, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I
was the one they threw away.
Oh, stop. I was the middle of five, so
okay.
I kind of have that middle child syndrome. But much of my story, to be honest with you, Harrison, is in this book, and I know we're going to get to that book, but my childhood really is kind of laid out in that book, because that was kind of the start of my entire process to write these books. It was flashing back and talking about how I grew up as a child and some of the things that inspired me. And
okay.
I can tell you, baseball for me back then, baseball and music were two major influences in my life.
Mine too, okay.
And when and yes, I know you played piano, and I did as well. So
I play baseball every day in my living room. That's something else I created, as we creative people do. We create things that other people don't get until they see they're cleverer than anything they could ever create.
Sure, yeah.
So I understand, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Stealing Home series is a reference to baseball, if you will. Stealing Home.
Stealing Home. Wait a minute. Oh, is that what you call these? All right, the Stealing Home series. So both of those books are part of the Stealing Home series.
Part of a series of 4 or 5 books. Correct.
Okay. Well, all right. Just hold up a second. Now you played baseball and music as a kid.
Yeah.
Well, now, to what degree did you play baseball? Were you in Little League? Did you pro? Did you semi-pro? Anything like that?
No, I was never that great.
Okay.
In my mind, I was really good.
Oh, I understand. You all are.
We played. We were wiffle ball in the backyard.
Okay.
In Little League and Babe Ruth.
Okay.
Pretty much that's about as far as I went. But I can tell you, just about every single day in the summertime, as far back as I can recall, no matter where I was, my friends and I were playing baseball, dreaming of the big leagues.
Of course.
It was always something as a child to kind of go back and hang your hat on and say, maybe one day we'll be hitting a home run in Fenway Park.
And if not, you just enjoy yourself, live in the moment.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I played baseball. I can tell you a story. Now, first of all, quick question. I'm wondering how old you are. You look about 35.
Oh, you're very gracious. I'm 55.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow.
Thank you for the compliment. Sometimes I feel like I'm 85.
Well, the reason I'm bringing this up real quick, as long as we're talking about baseball, so I don't know if you know this about me, I have a photographic memory for dates because I have Asperger's, like I said, and I can remember. Like if you told me a date of birth, I could tell you what I did on the day you were born and what day of the week it was. But when I was a kid, I was fat, and what that meant was that when I loved baseball, and I was pretty good at it when I had a chance to play it. Unfortunately, during our recess at my elementary school, I'd come out to recess. The kids would bring the kickballs out, and they wouldn't let me play because I was too fat. They said I couldn't run.
Oh, no.
But on one afternoon, on Friday, April 17th of 1970, I was in phys ed. The kids, we had a small school, Ellis Prep School in Brockton. We only had about 300 kids at the school. It was your old-fashioned type of school.
Mm-hmm.
So we were playing a baseball game in phys ed. The two fifth grade classes that day, between the boys in my class against the boys in the other fifth grade class, and I get up with the bases loaded and smacked a 3-run double and won the game 7-4.
Oh, great.
So, and the kids were praising me for the next hour before we went home for April vacation. I might as well have been Babe Ruth winning the World Series, because they would just, and then when we came back to school, they totally forgot about it and went back to making fun of me for being fat and all that. But I'm just saying, so that was my shot. That was my John Fogerty moment.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
I like it.
And I relive it every day.
Yeah.
Here
Well,
it is 53 years later, and I'm still living that in my mind.
But why not?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, good.
All right, so you played baseball. Now, what did you do for music? You said you played music, too.
Yeah, well, I took piano, but
okay, same here. Got it.
Yeah, which I knew because I saw some of your videos.
Yep.
I know you had mentioned that, so I knew we had that in common. And I think you had said you had played for like around 7 years.
Yep,
right?
I did, from 1965 to 73.
So I can't say I played for 7 years. I took lessons. But I'm a drummer, so my father was a drummer.
Were you in a band?
And just kind of pick up bands, if you will.
Okay.
But I still play almost every single day in my basement.
Sweet.
And I've had a couple of gigs on stage with a few fairly well-known names, which I'm not going to mention here.
Okay.
Because really, I can't say it's noteworthy enough to say I was part of that band.
Well,
But I
whatever
did
you
have a
feel
few-
is comfortable, that's fine.
I did have a few really cool stage appearances, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Music is cool because it's very cathartic.
Yep.
And for me, it's a form to relax and escape and sit there and put on a song and try to listen to the notes and interpret the beat and hopefully become more and more accomplished. So that is quite literally something I've been doing since as far back as I can recall, probably second grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you. Now, when did you start writing?
Well, I would say seriously, I started writing by my son's hospital bed in 2008.
Oh,
so
wow.
Much of these books and my entire journey in my platform, adversityrockstar.com,
Okay.
was built on the journey with my child and then flashing back to my childhood as well. So
Okay.
I had I am today the proud parent of a critically ill special needs disabled child.
Okay.
And my writing journey started along his hospital bed.
Wow.
To capture my thoughts and my feelings and my emotions at the time.
Yeah.
Because quite honestly, without sounding too deep here, Harrison, it did not look as though he was going to survive where we were at that point.
But he is, right? He's still with us.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Okay.
So I just started writing, and without really saying I'm going to make this into books or any sort of content, I wanted to capture where my head was at the time.
Yeah,
So
I
would
see.
say 2008. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 15 years ago. So he's an adult now, right?
He is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's my hero. One of
Yeah,
them.
that's great.
Yeah.
Is he your only child?
I have two.
Okay.
So his other brother, Aaron, just turned 22, and they are my world, my life, my inspiration, and essentially everything I do. And ironically, I think tomorrow is National Sons Day.
Okay,
So
because I know that Monday was
timing is
National
great.
Daughters Day.
Yeah.
But these are obscure holidays that you see on Facebook. I don't know anything about them until people are wishing their kids. But I'm sure on Facebook you'll wish your son something tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll
So
look
good
for that.
timing. So thanks for having me on. It's great timing.
Yeah, I'm glad. Okay. All right. Well, so tell me a little about these books then. Just you talk about them. Tell me how you just describe the genre, and we'll go over that. So go ahead.
Yeah, so just kind of flashing back to baseball. So
Okay.
as I mentioned, the stealing home reference, that's
Yeah.
a reference to baseball. Now, I used baseball as almost a metaphor for this entire journey. So instead of having chapters in these books, they're actual innings. So I refer to them as innings.
Okay.
And I talk about my experiences at Fenway Park and growing up and going to Fenway Park for the first time with my dad.
Okay.
And I always thought there was a lot of irony in that in order for me to get to Boston Children's where my son was,
Yeah.
I had to travel by Fenway Park and see families that were going to ball games and having a wonderful time.
Okay.
And here I am emotionally distraught trying to keep it together to go support my son in the hospital.
Yeah. True.
And that irony I always thought was so fascinating. So I wanted somehow when I wrote this series to incorporate that world and then the hospital world and then try to kind of bring them together fairly subtly. So, when I look at all of these books, they're all kind of brought together by baseball, if you will.
Yeah.
So this
And
first
and I
one-
get the titles now. That now you opened up my eyes to the titles. Heavenly Peace, My Ass. Obviously, both those titles are basically ironic titles, given what you just described.
Sure, sure.
Now I get it. Before I didn't.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned too, they're very dark. Which
Yeah.
I guess in the spirit of where we are heading into autumn and Halloween, maybe it's good reading.
Yeah, oh, it's always good
But it's,
reading.
you know, they're true stories. They're true stories of my life. And
Okay, so this is not fiction. This is
yeah,
based on your
this is my journey.
your biography,
Yeah.
autobiography
Yeah,
stuff,
and that's-
autobiographical.
And we talked before the cameras went on, but that is me on the cover.
Yep.
And I'm holding something in my hands for each one of these covers that are symbolic that I mention actually in each one of the books as well. So the Heavenly Peace, that's a candy cane in my hand.
Oh, a candy cane. Okay.
And that was a phrase that I wrote, that I said to myself standing by my father's grave on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And it was, you know, kind of me really at a very low point in my life. And originally the book was going to be called Heavenly Peace. And then my editor said, "Oh no, Eric, you've got to put the other two words in there because it's just such a compelling phrase."
Yeah, true. And there's more irony in that.
Yeah, yeah, and it
Okay.
turns a lot of heads when I'm doing book shows and signings. People say, "Wow, that's an interesting title. Tell me
Yeah.
about it." So that's really, you know, kind of the long and short of the first book. It's kind of flashback to my childhood and a lot of adversities that I faced way back then.
Yeah.
And then number 2 in the series is the second one, Screaming Whispers, and that picks up where the first one ends, and it just continues on my story of having not one but actually 2 children with very, very severe medical issues, and some of the accomplishments and some of the frustrations and the highs and the lows that we went through as a family to keep moving forward rather than letting those dark days beat us. If you
Right,
will.
that's true. Oh, so both your kids had issues too? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, and both of them have been diagnosed with autism. So
Okay.
you know that's
That's not a bad thing
very
if they
near
if they
and dear
turn- if
to
they
me
turn
as
it
well.
around, if they turn it to their advantage, and I can
sure.
say that from my own experience, obviously.
Yeah.
But it took me decades to do so, obviously, as well.
But look where you are today.
Exactly, and I expect that's gonna, if your kids can deal with that the way I did, then at some point they'll do things that they never would have believed possible as well.
Sure.
Well, tell me about yourself as a kid. Aside from, I mean, what were you like? I mean, obviously were socially interactive with a lot of your kids in the neighborhood and your schools, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I was kind of a shy kid, but a very popular kid.
Yeah, good. Okay, you weren't picked on much.
No, I wasn't picked on much, and I was always very respectful for other kids too.
Yeah.
That's not the world that I'm from. You know, we're all unique and we're all special, and you treat people with respect.
Yeah.
So, you know, inclusion, I would say for me, it was just how I was.
Yeah.
I had friends from every different group,
That's great.
which was kind of.
I was just the opposite. I had really, literally no friends, and people treated me like crap. And pretty much is the same today, except now I at least get some little admiration going on.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, look at the friends you have now. You've been doing this for how many years? You and I are friends now.
That's right. No, I mean everybody.
Yeah,
Listen, I
whole
look
new
at that. Everybody that we meet that helps us along the journey of life in a positive way as a friend. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But even today, I don't feel respected. I feel that like women treat me like crap, and I'll say that in any chance I get because I want to make it clear to them that I don't appreciate it.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I'm just being honest here. And I'll leave it at that. But you know, I don't suppose you had that problem either, did you?
Well, I think we all have different challenges in life, and the most important thing is to wake up every single day, look in the mirror, be confident, and be true to yourself.
Oh yeah. In spite of that.
Yeah, in spite of that.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I
And that
would
I
never
still
let
do.
somebody that doesn't look at me the same way. I'll never let them influence me. You know what? I am who I am. And
Exactly.
if they like me at this point in life, great. And if they don't, that's okay too.
Exactly. That's good. I mean, that's nice that you're wired like that because it's a good way to be. You get it makes you feel happier about yourself, and obviously I'm guessing you're still very interactive with a lot of people today.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's very important. I wrote a book a few years back called Adversity Rockstar, which is a self-improvement book.
Yep.
And one of the chapters that I mentioned in there is the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people when you're going through difficult points in life, you know, i.e. your friends and your family and your network of folks. And it's okay to reach out to people that you haven't spoken to in years.
Oh, I've done that. I know.
Just to reconnect,
Yeah.
which is nice, particularly if you're at a low point in life, because they'll always be there for you if they're your true friends.
Yeah, I know. Well, all right. Tell me, what was I going to say? Tell me about your public speaking. Tell me about that. I mean, do you lecture at a lot of events? And how does that go?
That really is my main source of income. So I've been speaking for years
wow.
and years. And honestly, it kind of evolved. I am from the corporate world, and I walked away from that about 10 years ago.
Oh, no kidding. What did you do? Just curious, what did you do in the corporate world?
Yeah, I was one of those oil executives. I was
Really?
a big oil executive, and
Kind of sounds like a pretty good position. Why did you walk away?
yeah, it was. Well, there was a lot of transition going on, and we were being acquired. And when you go through something as deeply emotional as I had gone through with my child,
Yeah.
it made me look at life differently and what was important. And I was losing so much time, and I actually was losing a portion of my own identity being the corporate guy and working every day without seeing the forest through the trees, if you will. And my eyes opened up with my child on his hospital bed, and I said, there's more to life than working in the corporate world, and there's also a reason why myself and my family were chosen to go through the journey that we have been on. I need to do something with this to give back and try to help inspire other people.
Okay.
So that's really kind of how it all evolved. And then, people hire me off my website, Adversity Rockstar, and I speak to, I've got a speaking gig coming up in 2 weeks for not-for-profit, but I speak to lots of organizations, lots of, businesses, corporations,
Okay.
not-for-profit, you name it, I've done it, which is kind of nice.
When you say not-for-profit, I mean, isn't that your source of income now, though? Is public speaking?
I'm saying I'm speaking for an organization that is a not-for-profit organization.
Oh, okay, but it is your work.
It is my work, correct?
Okay,
Yes,
and as far as marketing your books, how do you do that? I mean, do you have them in Barnes and Noble stores? Do you have them online?
Yeah, so they're
how do you do that?
They're available electronically on just about every single platform around the world. So Barnes and Noble and every place that somebody would be able to search to find a book, an electronic version, they are available. They're also available on Amazon. Every one of my books is on Amazon and my website. And one of the cool things about my website, Harrison, and this is something that I wanted to share with you because this is very special and unique to us.
Okay.
I'm going to say I want to do a promotion just to celebrate my appearance on this show.
Oh, that's swell.
And for anybody that goes onto my website and they purchase one of these 2 books and put the word Harrison in, I'm going to throw in another free book of my choosing just to kind of celebrate our time here, which I thought would be kind of fun and kind of cool.
I'm honored, and not only that, I'll ask you to go one better. If any of those people wants to do my show, you have my digits. Have them text me. We'll get them on.
Oh yeah, without question.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
so that'll be kind of fun.
It'll be great, very fun, fun. Yeah.
And I'll keep you posted on the numbers and how that all turns out. But I thought that would be kind of fun, and my way of just saying thank you for having me on the show too. So.
Okay. So tell me what venues you usually address when you speak, and how far and wide do you go to do it?
Yeah, so I travel the country.
Wow. Okay.
I've been down to the PGA National Resort in Florida, the Borgata down in Atlantic City.
What are you talking about? That was a golf game. That's a golf course, right?
Yeah. It's also a resort.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you basically speak. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Pretty much everywhere.
They hire you out all over the country.
New York City, Borgata.
And where's Borgata? Is that in Florida?
That's New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey.
Yeah,
okay.
Atlantic City.
Yep.
Yeah. So, big stages, little stages.
Yeah.
I do a lot for free. If it is not for profit or charity, I try to give back annually.
Yeah. Okay.
I've got coming up. I've got a couple of fun appearances. I've got one over at in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
Which will be kind of fun.
When are you going there?
That's going to be at Graceland. So that'll be cool.
Thank you very much.
Exactly. Yeah, that's in October, and then I go down to. Miami Beach.
Okay.
And then I'm over at, if you remember the movie The Shining.
I do.
The
you can't handle the truth. You look just like Nicholson now that I think of it.
Well, with the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the
younger version though.
The hotel, the Stanley Hotel, is where I have an appearance coming up in November, so I'll be over there taking a whole lot of pictures. And
wow.
Probably watching that movie all over again, just. In spirit. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I've been traveling a lot. I'm kind of tired, to be honest with you, but it's a lot of fun because I meet a lot of people.
Well, you're obviously, you've definitely retarded the aging process. I mean, like I said, I thought you were like 20 years younger than your actual age.
Thank you.
And that's no easy feat. Especially as you come on in years, you have to take care.
Sure.
I mean, I'm guessing you take care of yourself. Do you have a fitness regime? You look like you're very fit.
Yeah, I'm pretty active. Without a doubt. I definitely
work out every day.
I try to work out every day. I do the steps. I do pretty much everything that you need to do to try to stay fit and trim. But
Yep.
you know, that's not to say I don't cheat and do all the bad stuff that we do.
Well, you don't smoke, do you?
I don't smoke, but I do enjoy a good glass of wine.
Well, that's not the bad. That's not bad.
You
If you
know,
do it in moderation, it's
yeah,
healthy.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's what they say. Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, my parents, my father still drinks beer, and he's 88 now.
Yeah.
Not too, but he can't finish a whole glass like he used to. He'll drink like he'll do like 1/3 of a glass, and then he's done.
Yeah.
But it felt, that's what's comfortable for him.
Sure. And,
Yeah.
and you know what? Why not?
And I know there's nothing. That's not a vice. I mean, as long as you're not. And it sounds to me like everything you do is probably beneficial to you to some degree.
Yeah, it's working for this point in my life.
Right. Now you are married, right?
I am not.
Oh, you're not.
I
Okay.
was.
I understand. I know.
yeah.
I wasn't sure. I thought you said okay.
Well, you know, one of the hard parts too, when you have a critically ill child.
Yeah, yeah.
Something's going to give eventually.
Right.
And I say our marriage was kind of the casualty.
Okay.
Of that. My ex or my wife, my kid's mom, Stacy, she and I are still very good friends.
That's great.
We co-parent both of our boys.
Yeah.
We just went through a really tough time together, and when you go through something like that, it's very difficult to stay together, and it's even more difficult to come out on the other side, the same people that you were going in.
Okay.
And we just kind of grew apart and looked at life differently.
I
And
understand.
it happens a lot.
Well, I assume she's a big part of your children's lives as well, just like you are.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, without a question. Yeah, so these stories, these two books, I mention her,
Oh, good. Okay.
100,000 times in there. So this is a family telling.
Yeah.
To me, recounting it from my perspective, but the heroes of the book are Stacy, Aaron, Caden, and myself, if you will.
Okay. What's your other son's name?
So Aaron and Caden.
Caden. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Not to mention. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. It's almost like a double entendre of your name. If they retransferred some of the letters, it would be you could get those two names out of that one or those two names out of yours.
Sure.
I don't know. It just sounds like it kind of. That's good. I mean, I know how people when they name their kids. I guess they want to make them sound similar to their own names and have some kind of connection between their family ties and whatnot.
Well, mine obviously is Eric with an A.
Right.
So
That's very unusual. You're the only one I ever met that had an A that started a name. You know what's funny? The guy I'm interviewing tomorrow in Utah, his name is Eric with a K at the end, but it's E-R-I-K. Or I think it may be E-R-Y-K.
Oh, interesting.
That's going to be kind of interesting. And so I always look at these little events in life, and I never take them for granted because they're always fascinating.
Yeah. So two Erics in a row, one today
Yep.
and one tomorrow.
Yes, exactly.
That's got to be a first.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, neat.
Now in the 14th year. All right. So going forward, what do you have? What do you have coming up? Like in the next, as we rolling into autumn and into holiday season. What do you got coming up?
Yeah.
And you're going to Memphis. I know you said that, but
We
what
talked
else?
about a few appearances.
Okay.
So I'm wrapping up the appearance aspect of my business fairly quickly with those 3 or 4 appearances. I have another book coming out,
Okay.
which will be the 3rd one in this series. So I'm
okay.
doing the editing on that. And then I also am working on a Christmas, kind of like a surprise Christmas book, which is not dark. It's very light and cheery and
It's meant to be.
sentimental.
Good.
So just to kind of get myself into maybe a more emotionally healthy phase too, because these are really tough to write when you're talking about some of your darkest days. So I think the Christmas one is going to definitely help me, and I'm hoping to finish that up when I'm in Miami first week in November.
Okay. Just quick question: where do you go to sign books? Do you go to stores? Do you go? I mean, I assume it's mostly stores, right?
Yeah. So I do book signings at stores.
Okay.
I also I have an agent, and they book me to appear at various places. So
Who's your agent? Where are they?
So over in Ohio,
Okay.
a company called Transform.
That wouldn't be like Littleton Books or something. I don't know, something in Ohio. I'm pretty sure I've heard of an Ohio, a literary agent down there. So,
Yeah, no, different one.
different one. Okay.
Yeah, different one. A lot of it's word of mouth too. So
It is.
a lot of people will call me up and say, "Hey, Eric, can you come over to our town? We've got a bookstore. They're interested in having you." So
Okay. So you summoned to a lot of stores.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. It's nice.
Okay. Well, Eric, guess what? We're under 5 minutes now. I hope you enjoyed talking to me. I hope.
5 minutes. Wow.
I know. I couldn't believe it went by that fast either. I overlapped your talk, but I hope you enjoyed talking to me. I hope we covered about as much about you as we could.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right. So, like I said, in the remaining time, just look at the camera, give a few shouts out to people that are going to see the show. You can start with your kids, your family, anyone you want, friends, and then we'll wrap it up with snapping the way we began it.
All right. Yeah, so, shout out both to my 2 boys, as I've mentioned a million times now, Aaron and Caden. They are my inspiration in my life. like to have to make sure I recognize them because everything I do essentially is for them. But also their mom, Stacy, my friends and my family, and thanks to all my fellow adversity rock stars out there who follow me on social media and in print and on stage. But also, I just wanted to take just a quick second to acknowledge all of the folks that have children in a hospital right now that are struggling. To just let them know there's hope. You got to stay strong. Never give up. Never give in. Never settle. But keep plugging along. And then lastly, I did want to just give a quick kudos to Sunburst Trading in North Woodstock, New Hampshire, Exit 32. They have been celebrating my books and my career for a long time in one of their stores and now in the other store called the Bear's Den. That's Susan Cadario, so I wanted to make sure I say thank you to her. And then lastly, Lisa Kaplan down in Florida, who is also the inspiration for a short story, kind of a scary short story that's coming out in the next few weeks as well.
Okay, great job. Well, if any of those people want to do my show, either by Zoom or in person, please spread the word about how great you had, the time you had on the show. And once it shows up, hopefully next week, we'll share it with the world and get plenty of more people that want to do it.
Yeah, great.
Okay, well, you did a great. Are you ready to wrap? So you did a wonderful job. You ready to wrap the show up the way you began it?
Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up. Okay, folks, we're wrapping up September. See you in October. Take care. Signing off. There we go.